Hi guys, and welcome to the penultimate Rainbow Project 2016 review. And yeah, this one is going to be a little bit maybe strange, maybe exciting, or it might just be really anticlimactic. But yeah, I've been putting this one off for a little bit, and not for any other reason than I've just been more in the mood for the other styles. So today we have got a beer collaboration between Hawkshead and Yeastie boys, and this is the Kai Moana Gose, which is clocking in at 6% ABV. So Kai Moana Gose style is a refreshingly tart, salty and fruity gose made with Kai Moana, Maui for seafood, New Zealand hops and green gooseberries. We drew that colour again, and this inspired thoughts of the sea surrounding both island nations. We sourced the finest oysters from Loch Fyne, native green-lipped mussels from New Zealand, and Himalayan rock salt, lightly hopped with Nelson Sauvin and Mutika, all brought together by a big late edition of green gooseberries. Sit back and enjoy the colour green. So yeah, the reason why this is going to be an interesting one, because keyword seafood, and I don't like seafood. I very rarely eat fish, and I cannot stand seafood in general, like crustaceans, that sort of thing. Just not my thing at all. And if you remember my experience with, I think it was Mr. Blonde by Tool, gooseberries were rather intriguing as well. So yeah, this is basically a seafood, fruity, salty gose beer. Now, how craft is that? That is probably on paper, at this point, the craftiest beer that I will have potentially tried. Wheat malts and Pilsner malts, and hops, of course, Nelson Sauvin and Maltica, but yeah, green-lipped mussels, Loch Fyne oysters, and Hawaiian rock salt with gooseberries. Yeah, I was actually up at the Lake Districts a few days ago, and I wanted to potentially visit the Hawkshead beer hall. But I was with family and they're not really into this sort of stuff, and I didn't want to drag them all the way there. But yeah, I enjoyed some nice real ales. And yeah, I just want to get this beer open, so I'm going to shut up. But before I do, gorgeous, fun artwork. Love that illustration. Hopefully this label will come off easily for the collection, because the other ones have just been so stuck on. It's been hard. And yeah, there is the crown. So yeah, Hawkshead, Yeastie boys had great things about both breweries, so very excited to see what this is like. Thankfully don't get too much seafood on the neck, more of that gooseberry to be honest. So let's pour the beer and see what we get. Just going to pour a little bit because I'm actually doing a chat tonight with some beer tubers, so I don't want to pour all of the beer so it doesn't go flat too soon. Which will just mean me going into my little beer stash and drinking beers that I want to review. Yeah, that is almost like a solid, very slightly pale yellow, slightly orange sort of beer. Yeah, you cannot see through that at all. And I didn't pour it with a head, so I'll try and generate some to show you guys and get those aromas alive in the process. But yeah, beer head. Head is about one finger's worth of maybe a white, going on ever so slightly off-white head. Lots of combat bubbles with a few big bubbles in between. But yeah, very, very cloudy. So let's give it a sniff. I think the most domineering flavour in there is that gooseberry. I do get that slight sea salt sort of aroma as well in the background. Slight hops. I get a bit of greenage in there. Really not getting any fishy aromas from this one. I mean, I wasn't expecting it to smell of that sort of stuff, but I was expecting maybe a little bit of a hint of a slightly fishy tone. I don't know. Would that really come out in the aroma? I'm not too sure. It smells sort of like a cloudy lemonade as well. Maybe a bit of mint leaf. Yeah, I could just keep sniffing this and come with something new, so I'm just going to get it tasted. Cheers. Well, first off, it's not as punchy as I thought it would be. I do get that slight seafood sort of flavour there. I mean, like I said, I'm not a big fan of seafood, so I'm not really too familiar with all of the flavours of the sea. But I get that slight, you know, salty seafood sort of vibe. And of course, that that rock salt comes in really nicely as well. Not too harsh, but it almost tingles the tongue a little bit. The body's got this sort of like it's going to sound really nasty, but when you've got like traces of phlegm in your mouth, and it's like, it's not thick and clunky, but it's not like watery. It's like that little in between, sort of like it just slithers back down the throat. That's the sort of consistency I'm getting with this one, but it leaves it a little bit dry as well. I mean, I say that, but it's not unpleasant on the mouth. It's just my mind weirdly went to that location. It's a really nice little beer, but I'm actually quite disappointed that it didn't like completely shock the shit out of me. There's nothing in this beer that's offensive on the palate, and it's a really tasty beer. But if you'd have given me that, I would have no real inkling that there was actual like seafood in there. I'd have just thought it was like a mild gose, not really sour, but the sourness is there. It's got that slight saltiness as well, which you feel more on the back end, on the back of the throat, to be fair. That's sort of like seawater, very slightly though. So, you know, if you're slightly put off by the ingredients list, you're not really going to get an abundance of those flavours. A lot tastier than I thought it'd be. Very easy drinking, and there was like this sort of like strange part of me that was hoping that I would be like, what the fuck am I drinking? I'm really surprised at how actually really nice that is. It's not the best Gose that I've tried, but then again, I can count the amount of Gose beers that I've drank on my left hand. Not that I've got more fingers on my right hand, by the way. Don't let the seafood put you off. If you know it's there, you pick up on it. But if you to just be given this blind, chances are, depending if you like seafood or not, you might not be able to pick up on it too much. But yeah, it's an intriguing way to add a bit of saltiness, add a bit of character to your beer. And yeah, I love the creativity and the experimental aspect of this beer. I was just slightly hoping that it would be a complete mindfuck, but it's not, which is a good thing because it's a very drinkable beer, and I'm going to definitely enjoy the rest of this one. So in terms of a rating for Hawkshead and Yeastie Boys Kai Moana Gose, it's got to be an 8 out of 10 from me. Another very solid beer in this Rainbow Project box, not had a bad one. So check out Hawkshead. Check out Yeastie Boys down below if you want to find out more about this beer. As always, links are in the description box. Check out my Rainbow Project playlist, and I hope you will join me for the final part of this really nice, flavoursome adventure. Thank you guys for watching. Like, comment and subscribe, and until the next time, you guys stay safe. Cheers.